CM Punk to the AEW World Championship. Confirmed. I'm Ollie Davis. Welcome to the WrestleTalk news channel. This is my immediate live reactions review of AEW Double or Nothing, aka AEW Don Callis 2022. Please, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below with your thoughts on AEW Double or Nothing, and press the thumbs up button, like and subscribe, do all the usual stuff. So, it has literally just finished. It finished about 7 minutes ago, and the closing image of the show was of CM Punk holding the AEW World Championship aloft because he has beaten Hangman Page, that transitional champion, to become the AEW World Champion. Now, this is something I had predicted, although that Go Home promo on Dynamite did leave me doubting it. I thought, maybe actually Hangman will retain, and then Punk can slowly turn heel, and then Punk wins a title in Chicago in All Out later this year in August, September time. But instead, they have gone for putting the belt on Punk, and it happened in a very, very high drama fashion. So Punk and Page just absolutely hated each other, although Hangman was definitely more emotional through the whole match. This is what the story was based upon. Punk kept on saying, "I am in your head. Why are you taking it personal, Page? Hey, stop taking it so personal." And that was really reflected through the story. Punk, more veteran, had a lot more composure, I would argue. Maybe not composure while trying to hit his version of the buckshot lariat, maybe, because that failed twice, quite spectacularly. The first time he could be like, it's not his move, he's selling his knee maybe, that's why he collapsed on the somersault over the top rope. But when he fell over the second time and then awkwardly hit a clothesline, and you're like, no, it's actually because he couldn't do it, and that's quite awkward. In fact, after the pay-per-view had gone off air, FTR came down to the ring, celebrated with Punk. Punk cut a sort of thank you fans for coming promo on the microphone, and he joked, "Remind me never again to attempt the buckshot lariat." Punk isn't, even in his big matches, Punk is quite a botchy wrestler. Like, if you go back and watch Money in the Bank 2011, say, against John Cena, that is full of botches, stumbling, falling over during spots, being mistimed, but it's the character, it's the sort of momentum of force that really gets him over. Anyway, Punk kept on trying to hit the buckshot lariat, kind of hit it. Hangman hit the go to sleep. But it all came down to when the referee got knocked down. Double down for both guys, but Hangman is up first. The AEW World title is in the corner. Hangman picks it up. Is he going to use it on Punk? Punk is kind of like weakly begging off. You don't know if that's like a sort of playing possum trap. We'll never know, because Hangman then thought better, like, I do not want to become what this guy is maybe sort of manipulating me into becoming. He puts down the championship belt, doesn't use it, and that's when Punk picks him up, reverses a buckshot into the GTS for the win. Very interesting direction. CM Punk is quite easily the biggest star in All Elite Wrestling. So it makes sense to put the title on him, and hopefully this will give Hangman some real motivation. His sort of go-home promo was all about protecting AEW from Punk, and Hangman was going to, go to any lengths to protect AEW from Punk. He had the belt he was going to use. What better symbol of the company than the World Championship belt? But his morals got the better of him, maybe. CM Punk didn't show any signs of heel. He was crying. He was very happy to be the champion. But, is this the snake in the grass that we've seen time and time again from Punk in ROH and WWE? The thing that Hangman was warning us against. For me, I would like just a bit of fantasy booking. Punk very, very slowly and gradually turns heel. Over the course of months, 6 months maybe, while Hangman's there being like, no, he's evil. Listen to me. And everyone's like, you've lost it, Hangman. Really, really good main event. And a lot of exciting directions they can go in. And just like, think of the matches. CM Punk as champion versus Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega. Hey, we've got a New Japan card on the way. Kazuchika Okada, throw him in there. Tanahashi. Jon Moxley. Adam Cole. Really, really exciting stuff. The rest of the pay-per-view, for me, just to give a sort of overview, was probably the least best AEW pay-per-view since All Out 2020. You know, the weird one where Matt Hardy seemed to get a load of concussions. I know a lot of people would probably say maybe AEW Revolution 2021 with the pyro ending of the exploding barbed wire death match and the reveal of Christian as the Hall of Famer caliber talent. But I admire that show's ambition. And I think the final angle would have been amazing if it wasn't for that pyro botch. This show fell a bit, not flat, but almost spread out. Like the highs, and there were definite highs. You had an excellent House of Black match. You had Athena, Ember Moon, and Malcolm Bivens, two former NXT talents, debuting against Jade Cargill at the end of her retention against Anna Jay. The whole Adam Cole and Britt Baker winning both the Owen Hart Cup tournament, respective gender brackets, was really cool. And then with a genuinely awesome moment with Martha Hart presenting the belts to them. And a really just lovely, holistic wrestling history moment. And the JAS versus Blackpool Combat Club LAX combo was just this crazy brawl, ECW style brawl that was so much fun. And the tag match was really good as well. Loads of good matches there. But at the same time, more than any other AEW pay-per-view I can really remember experiencing, there was just stuff. Darby Allin versus Kyle O'Reilly. Really good match. Really exceeded the expectations, but did it need to be on a 4-hour, 40-minute main card? The tag title match, really good match, but Jurassic Express just retained again, like the least interesting part of this whole story. It felt like the time to put the titles on Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. The Jade Cargill Anna Jay match felt, rushed to get it on there. The Hardys and Bucks match for me felt like, not really that well built up. And I thought the first half was actually, a bit awkward. Got really good by the end though. American Top Team versus Frankie Kazarian, Sammy Guevara, and Tay Conti, where everyone is just, apart from Frankie, was just like, yeah, we're all heels. And it just didn't work. Sucked the life out of the crowd. Rosa and Deeb was good, but not great. A lot of just stuff there, when really the AEW pay-per-view's standard is just all killer and very, very little filler. For me, this felt like things were spread a little bit more thin than usual. Remember, I said least best, not worst. It's a deliberate choice of wording there. The other big thing to talk about is MJF was on the show, despite the reports over the weekend. He turned up, sort of mocked the reports. He did a sort of plain taunt before the match started. Obviously to reference him potentially getting on a plane to leave the show and not wrestle the match and do a no-show. Who bought the plane ticket, JR? One of the great wrestling mysteries at the moment. Wardlow just squashed him. 7 minutes. MJF got very little offense in. It was mostly goofy angle selling. Wardlow just got all the revenge. 10 power bombs. And then Max is stretchered off, presumably written off TV for a while. And Wardlow got a very, very good sort of, you have an AEW contract, and he cried, really put it over well. This was exactly what it needed to be. Just Max getting his ass handed to him and putting Wardlow over mega strong. But the stuff that happened behind the scenes with the MJF no-show the previous day, all the sort of gossip about that, unfortunately, I feel really took away from the enjoyment there. But yes, overall, Punk's the champion. But what else really happened? I couldn't really tell you. I feel like a lot of stuff is just gonna continue on as normal, or just sort of redos of current feuds. God damn, at least Sammy Guevara and Frankie Kazarian can't challenge for the TNT title anymore. That was built into the stipulation there. But yeah, enjoyable show, way too long, Punk's champion, but a lot of stuff that probably didn't need to be on there, and some instances, a very bad booking, like the American Top Team match. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments, and tell me that agree with me that Lee and Swerve should have won the tag team titles. Please do subscribe, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment too. We'll have more stuff coming on the WrestleTalk news channel today, a full play-by-play review of the entire pay-per-view, and a news episode later on with everybody's favourite, Randy Andy Datson, to go through, undoubtedly, all that backstage shenanigans with MJF. But for now, jam that jam.